My number 2 takeaway, I'm calling it kind of, I love how I make these like statements as if I'm like, I have the name. I'm calling it new potential.
Okay.
So there were some athletes that had what we would consider surprise victories just because they weren't going in as one of the favorites of the meet. And that was Blake Tierney and Alexanne Lepage. And getting to watch them hit their big first international senior podiums and to do it with a gold medal. I don't care what meet it's at, to hear your national anthem played under the lights at a big final, like that is pretty remarkable. Watching them reach those podium performances, how did it feel for you?
Yeah, super exciting. I think watching Blake, I know he had a little bit of a taste of the international fields last summer at Worlds, but still seeing him again rise to the occasion of having to perform under the lights against some big names was great to see. And I mean, Alexanne, like that was incredible. Watching her, again, just taking advantage of the opportunity that she had. She had a lane, she focused on herself, focused on her own race strategy, and put together an incredible race. Best time, I mean, champion, like super, super exciting for Canada, and I mean, super exciting for her. I know she went to Junior Worlds
3 years ago,
3 years ago, yeah. So, you know, to see her now 3 years later on top of the podium, like I hope she's just soaking it all in and really like taking confidence from this whole summer, the entire meet for her, and I know it'll do well for her in the next year, couple years.
Yeah, well, you talk about Junior Worlds, and I was definitely going to mention that as well because that was 3 years ago. It was kind of like her big breakout performance. She won the 100 and 200 meter breaststroke, and then unfortunately did not qualify for Paris in 2024. And so for some people, that can be a really big deterrent in your career. You miss the Olympic team, but it seems like we're just starting to see the best of what she's capable of doing, which is so great. I ran over and hugged her coach, Mike Blundell, after to congratulate him. And he said, she's fearless, and like the biggest smile on his face. And I think that really stood out to me because as a coach, you can set expectations for your athletes and you think you know what they can go. But we all watched her take out that first half of the race. And then everyone's like, okay, great. Like a really solid start. Like, and then at the 150, she's still winning. And I'm like, okay, like, and then all of a sudden, she makes this final surge. And I said, what a phenomenal, but also gutsy. Like, it's so hard to just go for it in a race like that when the world champion and Olympic champion is 2 lanes over from you, who, by the way, set a world record about 20 minutes before in a completely different event. For Alexanne to go head to head, you said drop a 1.5 seconds from her lifetime best. To me, this is one of those career altering swims for an athlete.
Yeah.
She has now put her name on the map. And that time, I just wanted to reference because then the follow-up question is like, okay, well, where does that put her against the best in the world, the best in the Olympic field kind of thing? So the Olympic podium, to make the Olympic podium in 2024 was 2:21.05. So she was about 7/10 off that. But her time would have been a clear 4th place. And then the world's podium in 2025, it took a 2:23.52. So her time would have put her 3rd. So to know that like, she set a time, not just a race, but a time that is now in contention to put in consideration for an Olympic medal. It's so remarkable. Kylie, I wanted to ask you because you definitely were an athlete that kind of like had this resurgence right before an Olympic year, but definitely weren't going in as an Olympic favorite. And then you got your way onto an Olympic podium. Like for Alexanne, what would your advice be now 2 years out? She is a teammate of yours. You've been a leader on this team. 2 years out from the Olympics. She's yet to get to go to an Olympics yet. And now she's all of a sudden, the expectation's higher. What would you say to her?
I would say to just continue to believe in yourself and really take confidence from this past, entire year. She had a wonderful year leading up to Pan Pacs as well. I know she swam super well at Mare Nostrum. So really just like gaining confidence from each experience she had this year and knowing that she belongs in that field, I think is a huge one. Like that's something that I personally felt like in the beginning of my career. It's like you can easily get a little bit, I don't want to say scared, but like a little bit shy of being in that big final with these big names of people you've heard of and may have raced before, may not have. But knowing that she belongs there and she's capable of doing incredible things, I think is what I would tell her, and to just keep doing what she's been doing and to enjoy it.
It's so true. I always say to young kids if they ask, like, there's the reason if it were just about the best swimmer on paper, we would never swim the race, right? Like
Yeah.
you see the heat sheet and there's automatically somebody, whether you like it or not, you as a kid growing up, you look through that heat sheet and you see lane 4 and you're automatically counting yourself as like, oh, it'd be nice to finish second or third in this heat. And it's like, why do we do that? Like
Yeah.
you are just as capable of beating the best in the world. And she just did it in a race that it wasn't like she did it at a pro swim series, right? Like this was the big taper meet of the summer. And so for her to do that under pressure was pretty remarkable. And yes, she was the underdog, but nowadays she can move forward knowing that she's just as capable as anyone else in the field
100%.
to get her hand on those walls.
And you never know what could happen.
Right.
Like, I think that's the biggest thing as well. Like, I mean, illness and injuries and all those, horrible things that you wouldn't wish upon anybody aside, but still, like, people have poor races, like, things happen, and you just, never count yourself out.
Right. No.